Bloody Mary Podcast.
Welcome to the Bloody Mary Podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tammy, and we are totally married.
Yeah.
We got our Bloody Marys, and tonight we are doing our Jack Frost Christmas holiday special.
Yeah, and not the Jack Frost movie with Michael Keaton.
No,
the two lower budget Jack Frost horror flicks.
Yes.
With really cool, if you're watching, boxes that are whatever this is called, where they change holographic boxes. Yeah, really cool. So Michael Keaton's not in this one.
He is not in this one.
But you know what's? I remember when I was a kid, I was watching. It was Letterman or Leno, and Michael Keaton was on there promoting Jack Frost, the holiday film. And when he was promoting that, he said, "This is a holiday film, and there's another one out there that's about a mutant killer snowman, and that's not the one I did." so this Jack Frost got like a free boost and free promotion.
That's kind of genius on their part.
And I bet that the people involved in this, or at least the director, like heard of that, and he's like, "Oh my God, that's so cool. Michael Keaton mentioned my film."
That would be cool. I believe the trivia I read too was like, that's why the second one is Jack Frost 2 Killer Mutant Snowman.
Revenge of the Killer Mutant Snowman. Yes.
Say that a bunch of times fast.
Jack Frost 2 Revenge of the Killer Mutant Snowman. Jack Frost 2 Revenge of the Killer Mutant Snowman. Jack Frost 2 Revenge of the Killer Mutant Snowman.
All right. Don't show off. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, before we get into it, we have merch. And
we do have merch.
And we have an Amazon wish list.
We do.
And it's, the holidays. And even though Christmas is upon us, we still enjoy gifts.
We do.
Any time of the year.
And support.
And support too. And, on our wish list, if you choose to check that out, there's some expensive stuff like our pod tracks, some mics, some mic stands if you're feeling super generous. And then there's a whole bunch of tiki mugs. And then just stuff like Bloody Mary mixes and smaller stuff like that if you feel generous. And then also we have merch if you just want to buy some shit for yourself.
Yes, we have some pretty cool merch, so go check it out.
Yep, shirts, cups,
hats, cups,
things,
stuff and things.
BloodyMarriedPodcast.com. Yeah. So we're talking about the Jack Frost films this Christmas. So these have been out. The first one came out in like 97 and the second one came out in I think 2000. So if you haven't seen them, spoiler alert. I mean,
all right. We're going to spoil it.
Yeah. And
I've just now seen both of these.
You've never seen these until recently.
Correct.
And I saw the first Jack Frost when it came out. I think I rented it from Hollywood Video. I grabbed the box. I don't know how I knew that it was coming out. There had to have been some advertisement somewhere on like Sci-Fi Channel or something, because I knew it was coming out, but I don't see any like bigger studio promoting this much. Maybe it could have been a late night HBO plug. I don't know, but I remember seeing it like that year. Mm-hmm. And the one and I thought I saw the second one, but we watched it. I'm like, I haven't seen this.
I think you'd remember if you saw it.
Yeah. I don't remember anything about this one. But one thing, just before we get into it, that I want to say about the first one is when I saw it first back in 1997, I was like, this kind of sucks because it's low budget and like things aren't that great in it.
No.
There's no money. And I was like, there's some cool stuff. I see what they were doing, but this is kind of a shitty movie. And then maybe I'd seen it like one or two more times around that same, year or two. Mm-hmm. So I really haven't seen it my whole like adult life. Mm-hmm. So now after watching it 20 plus years later, with a world of experience and age, and also I've became a filmmaker since then, I have come to greatly appreciate this first film because what they do is embrace everything.
Oh, absolutely. They go in hard on it.
They embrace their budget. They know they have a low budget and they embrace the shit out of it. And this is, it's one of the reasons why many reasons that I love making horror comedies as a director is because I really do think it's the one genre of film that really goes hand in hand with the low budget and embracing it.
Yes, right? I agree with that. Because you can't really, if you do a low budget drama or even comedy, if it's shitty,
Yeah.
You can't,
so,
like,
so there's a level of shittiness you can get away with
Right.
in a horror comedy as long as you know that going in and you embrace stuff.
Right.
You can get away with nearly everything and make it fun and entertaining. And then what I see a lot of, and a lot of times at a local level, not necessarily our town, but our town and the surrounding area, like seeing short films online, going to multiple fests, and even myself trying to do a little bit of like drama and suspense is I could count like on my hand how many times that actually succeeds on like a super low budget level, like trying to do a drama or a
Right.
thriller. It never does. Like 99% of the short films I watch that are just drama forward, thriller forward, crime dramas, they don't work.
They
It's
fall very flat.
yeah,
and
yeah.
You're like, oh.
just in my opinion. So coming back around to it, he really knew what he was doing and embraced it.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate it until much later.
Which is nice, right?
Yeah, that's fun
Like you
with,
come
with
back
some
and you're
movies.
like, oh, hey.
Yeah, as silly
It's
as
still
it is.
shitty, but it's silly, but
Yeah.
they lean into
You
it.
knew it was shitty and you leaned
Right.
into it and you used what you had. The synopsis, if you haven't. This is what Jack
Let's
Frost
get
is
into
about.
it.
Okay. After an accident that left murderer Jack Frost dead in genetic material, the vengeful killer returns as a murderous snowman to exact his revenge on the man who sent him to be executed.
Dun dun dun.
And it's like Chucky, but Jack Frost in the wintertime
It is.
with like sprinkles of Evil Dead and actually The Thing. Like there's a lot of those like references and
Mhm.
paying tribute to and stuff like that. So me talking a bunch, what did you think of Jack Frost? Just right.
I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, but it was
Mm.
fun
Yeah.
because they did lean into it, and you could laugh, and you're like, "Oh my god, really? Did that just happen?" Yeah, no, I thought it was a lot of fun
Yeah.
and silly, and I liked their little nursery rhyme for him. I thought that was great.
The opening was really cool.
The opening
it was,
is cool, and it also kind of mirrors the Santa Claus is coming to town claymation.
okay.
That's how it opens with like, tell us a story.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I just thought it was really cool because I think they handmade like all of the credits, like directed by,
Mhm.
starring, executive producer, and they turned them into, they made them into Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
And your camera was just on one,
And popping
went to
over.
another, went to another. And I really love practical title sequences.
Mhm.
I haven't done one in such a long time. I think I used to do them like when I started way back when doing those. And I think that'd be really fun to do again. And
Ooh, that would be fun.
watching Jack Frost is like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really like that one. I did write it down. So we have it just in case we need to reference it.
You
The-
wrote what down?
The nursery rhyme.
Oh, you wrote the nursery rhyme? Well,
Yeah.
if you wrote it down,
I'll
I
read
mean,
it then.
you can read like part of it because it's pretty long. So just, kick us off.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack gouges out eyes with candlesticks.
Nice. I like it. That's
It
a-
catches you right in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the opening was cool.
So what were your favorite parts?
My favorite parts. I really enjoy the opening sequence, and this is another thing too, because they're a couple of guys driving in a truck,
They are, and they're all cozy. Like they're like,
and they're hauling Jack the serial killer, and it's not a car.
oh, absolutely not.
It's like just a window or piece of glass, and they're just right next to each other, and they got a windshield going, and they got snow, and you can tell it's not a vehicle, but they're like really doing some practical stuff and
Mhm.
embracing the fun of it. And then the whole crash sequence, there's really some cool Sam Raimi camera tricks in there,
yeah.
especially when all of the genetic liquid
Oh,
gets sprayed from the truck onto Jack. It's just like the scene from Evil Dead 2 where Ash is being sprayed with all of the crap coming from the wall.
hmm
And I thought that was really fun. So that was one of my favorite parts.
I really liked when it melted him, just all
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That effect and fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, just so in case you didn't catch that, his origin story is they crash into a genetically and goop, a truck, right? They head on collision.
Genetic material.
Yeah. And they crash.
A
and you
toxic
just-
waste truck. And then crashes into Jack, the serial killer, and then he melds molecules with the snow and becomes a mutant killer snowman. If I haven't said, the director of this is Michael Cooney. Okay. Just a side thing. I forgot that.
But that was a fun effect watching. I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah,
melt. That was really fun.
And again, it's like a filming and an editing technique where you show that happening with the liquid and stuff, and you cut back to reactions, and then you set this differently, and now this scene looks different and it's been mutated. You cut to reactions, it's a different setup. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That whole sequence is cool. The whole opening is really fun. Another thing I liked, at first I didn't like the fake snow, but now I think it's so silly because it's so obviously fake. And the town they shot this movie in the summer.
They did. Oh, you can totally
there's
tell.
Like
it's
this
like
wide
Christmas
shot
in July.
of like there's this wide shot of like the store, and it's obviously summer. There's like leaves on trees. It's like summer sun, and then there's just a little patch of like white snow and really crappy snowmen. That's just silly.
And I like
fun.
how he's like, oh, he comes in from shoveling. She's like, a ton of shoveling down the side on our driveway. You go, then it cuts to the driveway. There's like just dry rocks and it's dry.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that was a good shovel job if you got all the way down and got it dry too.
Yeah, there was no snow to shovel.
It was funny.
Yeah. But you know what? Some scenes looked like snow. I think that was the thing that, like, some scenes obviously didn't, and some passed as, it kind of looks like winter.
Yeah.
But I think it was mostly the night stuff. It was that daytime snow that, no.
The night when it's dark and you can't really tell what it looks like.
That's the stuff
and then
that
at
worked.
2 a.m. when the lights go on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Some of the kills were really fun. I didn't remember my favorite kill was the Christmas ornament kill.
That was my favorite one too.
Where
the Christmas
they're obviously
tree.
using like a doll head and smashing her, like this chick, and Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman, grabs her head and smashes her head down into the ornaments, and she keeps coming up all bloody.
Oh, and then he gets he ties her into the tree. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
It was. Yeah.
Before that, her son got decapitated by a sled.
Which that was also pretty cool.
Yeah, the snowman pushed him. And everyone was like, your kid's crazy to the sheriff. Which, to be fair, his kid did make him antifreeze goop and told him he made special. So...
Yeah, his kid made him some breakfast stuff, and turns out at the end that there's antifreeze in it. And that's what they used to destroy Jack. Which we can get into that. That was fun too. And they're just wrestling in the back of a truck with antifreeze.
Oh my gosh.
That was rad.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And his I don't know, secretary or whoever answers the phone at the sheriff's station.
Marla, right? Or at least I want to call her Marla.
It's Marla.
Okay.
Because fuck Marla. But fuck Marla in 2. We'll get to that.
I found Marla to be endearing in the first one, at
least. The first one, she's stuck in the 80s, Marla. Her hair is totally something my mom did in the 80s.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, she's nice and sweet. Number 2, fuck her. Just saying.
Harsh words for Marla there.
Marla.
But yeah, there's the if you've seen it, there's the infamous rape scene of Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh.
Which she's in the film. So, yeah.
Okay,
go ahead.
Hold on. Before we get to that, which, yes, we'll get to that. But, so this girl... Shannon Elizabeth, baby Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Her brother just gets decapitated.
Yeah.
And what she does is she takes Bobby. Is it Bobby?
I don't know.
We'll call him
boyfriend.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby, her boyfriend, or Johnny, whatever. They break into the sheriff's house. And then she's like, hey, babe, why don't you go start a fire? And then get us some alcohol. And I'm going to go blow dry my fucking hair.
Yeah.
So they break into the sheriff's house to bang and drink alcohol. He starts a fire.
She blows dry. Yeah.
She goes upstairs to blow dry her hair. And then
after that,
then they go down, have some drinks. And then she goes back upstairs and fucking gets in the bathtub.
After blow drying her hair.
After blow drying her hair.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I was loud there, but oh my fucking God. You just unnecessarily blow dry your hair for 30 minutes and then you get into the bathtub and then get it wet again?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so that really pissed you off.
It did. That is the stupidest thing I've ever... Okay, continue. All right. Now she's taking a bath.
She wanted to blow dry her hair to look good for the event.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And then you get into a bathtub right after, before you even had said event. Yeah. She didn't even have sex first.
No.
She just was like, you know what? I think I'm going to take a bath while I'm waiting for you to set the fire and get us alcohol instead, and then douse her hair after
Yeah.
she fucking blow dried it.
So in the bathtub, it's water and it turns into Jack Frost, and Jack Frost pops up and like, it's not brutal, it's comical that he's like smashing her.
Right.
And then at the end, he, does a one-liner that I can't remember what he said. But anyways, I always thought that was fun, even though it's a terrible subject. It was funny.
Snowman rape.
I saw, snowman rape. Come on,
It's
with
not
a
funny.
carrot.
It's not funny.
Okay, it's not. Rape isn't funny, but this scene was. So I just there's an interview like recently with the director, and he talked about this scene. He talked about
Yes. What did he say?
Shannon Elizabeth, and said that she was a delight on set. He would work with her again. But he also said that was the most complex scene that they shot with. They had like the tub was elevated and it was all these camera rigs. And so it seems unnecessary, but they had a rig where the tub was up, and then they had her here and the snowman, and the whole system moved. It was the most complex thing. And they said he was talking about how their shooting days, they had a really good schedule. They had to go fast to make this film, but they didn't have crazy days, and he said this was a crazy day. So and the whole scene is supposed to, it's not written as a rape, it's not filmed as a rape. What it is the snowman comes up and he's just supposed to smash her against the wall and kill her.
Oh.
So what happens in the process of that is the nose falls off of the snowman, and they having to keep reattaching it. And then the day keeps going, and then the producers are like, looking at their clock and like, wrap this up. And he's like, fuck, just shoot it. We'll just shoot it without the carrot on his nose. And they shoot it, blah, 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 blah. She's dead, end of that. Cut to post-production in the editing room. The editor's throwing the scene together, and he looks over at the director, and he's like, you know what this looks like, right? Since his nose is gone and he's smashing her. And then the director's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, let's just embrace it. Let's just embrace it, and we'll add another scene. And then he said, that's something that back then was fun. I still think it's a fun scene, but I wouldn't do it now. Times have changed. It was 25 years ago.
Right.
Now I would, if he said something like, if I could go George Lucas that, I would. But, it is what it is. Time capsule. At least it's not gratuitous, and everyone had a good time doing it. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's what he said.
All right.
It's still fun.
It's still snowman rape.
It is.
With the carrot.
Yeah. So that's a thing that happened. So
That
Shannon
is a thing
Elizabeth,
that
that was her first movie.
That was.
Yeah.
She's such a baby in that.
I know.
And then she went on to do American Pie and other things.
Yeah. She did I think 13 Ghosts right afterwards.
Okay. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that one forever.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways.
So
So.
and another thing, this was supposed to be a $35 million film.
What?
This was on track to be a big budget film. Rennie Harlin was going to direct it. He directed, I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was Rennie Harlin's first film, but he's also known for so many. A Long Kiss Goodnight comes to mind,
Oh, I love
but
that
bigger, I think Reindeer Games and other like bigger budgeted action flicks. But rumor has it that Gina Davis read the script and she said, I am not doing this. Let's make a pirate movie. And then so Rennie Harlin dipped out. They lost their funding, and the director went back to England, I believe it is.
Okay.
And then some stuff happens, and then he gathers up like 40 grand and comes back to California, and they use that money to jump into pre-production for Jack Frost without having a budget. So they're going and hoping to grab money as it's coming. So eventually a company picks them up, Prism, and they decide to fund the rest of the film, which can't be any much more than
more than $40,000.
I would say it can't be any more than like $300,000 or $500,000. So this movie actually started with $35 million budget.
Can you imagine what
And
that
went-
would have been like?
I'd have no idea what it would have been like. I think it would have flopped.
I think it would too, because it would be try to be a scarier,
It would have tried to be
and
like
this one leans in.
Yeah.
Leans into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this company that picked up Jack Frost, I think they went bankrupt right afterwards. So the last two movies they decided to fund was Jack Frost and Leprechaun in Space.
I mean, both great choices. Clearly great business choices for them.
Yeah. So I think that's all fun stuff. Did this movie make you feel festive? Did it make you get into the holiday spirit?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing says Christmas like a killer snowman.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about how they defeat the killer snowman.
Kick it off. Let's hear it. How do they defeat Jack
apparently human safe antifreeze.
Frost? Yeah.
After the hairdryer brigade from town traps him.
Yeah, they tried melting him first with hair dryers.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Shocking.
And then threw him in a boiler.
Yeah.
The boiler to melt him.
And then he just
Yeah.
becomes steam because he can make himself water.
Yeah.
God, people.
Yeah.
And then they find out antifreeze is the what kills him because the sheriff's son had made him that special breakfast that had antifreeze in it.
Yeah.
And they're like, honey, what was in that? And he was like, antifreeze.
I know. And just side note, surprise that their son is not in the second one or mentioned. I like to believe they killed him because they tried to kill dad with antifreeze. Continue.
I think he's locked up somewhere safe.
Yeah, somewhere safe.
Somewhere safe.
He is.
And then, so they concoct a plan. We need all of the town's antifreeze in a truck bed, and then Sam is gonna push him out a window.
He grabs him. He like
Grabs him.
runs and like wrestle like, yeah.
And he's been stabbed now. So he's been stabbed with an icicle,
Mm-hmm.
and he's wrestling Jack Frost in antifreeze. So
Yeah.
clearly it's human safe.
Well, yeah,
because
he's covered in antifreeze.
Sam is covered in antifreeze, and then they take the little kid and put him in the antifreeze too.
Yeah. Why'd they
So,
do that? Oh,
I
just
think
to
Some of
say,
Jack Frost
just
like
to say hi to your dad.
yeah.
I think
let's
that's
go
what it
hang
was.
out with your dad. He's
Yeah.
in the antifreeze. Woo.
I know, it was just like a Jello wrestling. It's like I've seen that before. Comedian Bert Kreischer did a promo recently or last summer where there was a truck with a tarp and it was filled with water and ice, and he was floating in there with beer doing a promo. So that's exactly what they did. They just
Yeah.
put a tarp in the back of a truck and antifreeze. Yeah.
And then they bottled it all up, and then they buried it underground
Yeah.
to keep him safe. Oh, and the FBI did come. Agent Manners. He was there. He was a dick. He didn't help any.
Agent Manners.
Agent Manners.
Yeah.
He was like, it's need to know basis. And Sam was
Yeah.
like, there's a killer snowman in my town killing my people. You need to tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And really, it was just the serial killer Jack out for revenge.
Yeah, I mean, if you like low budget horror comedies and haven't seen this, then check it out. I mean, if you
Oh, absolutely. It's fun.
if you haven't seen it in a while, check it out too. It's pretty cool.
As for Jack Frost 2, I would suggest you don't need to watch it.
Yeah, before we get into that, Jack Frost 2. This is on a lot of like you can go to horror websites and stuff if you're looking for a holiday film. Holiday horror film. This is on a lot of lists. Do you think it deserves to be on like a top 10, top 20 like holiday horror?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's fun and it's silly and it leans into it. And
Yeah.
it's a fucking killer snowman.
For sure. You know, if we're gonna rate these, are we rating these or are we just talking about them?
Oh, let's rate them.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
The first one, what do you give it?
you know, I'm just gonna give it a fun, solid 5 out of 10. You know?
I agree.
Yeah, it's just right
We
in the middle.
laughed. We had fun.
Yeah. Not the
It was
best, not the
silly.
worst. It could have easily been like a 1 or a 2.
Oh, it's not Thanks Killing 3.
But they they just embraced it. And
they did.
And all of the practical effects go such a long way in preserving the film, you know, for sure, because there's a lot of I don't know, it holds up.
It does.
It's like janky as it is because of all the practical effects and like that low budget. You're almost in on the joke with them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not trying too hard to go beyond what their budget is.
Right.
And like the one time they had a digital effect, I think that it was in the beginning when it showed the molecules melding with
It
the
was
snowman.
cartoon.
They cut to cartoon for like 2 seconds where I like, okay, if you want to show melding molecules, and it was fun because it wasn't digital, it was a cartoon.
Right.
Yeah. So that was really fun.
That was fun. And
so is like as cheap as the effects are, they hold up.
they do, because
Yeah.
it brings the whole package together, I
Yeah.
think. You're in that environment of the silly, goofy,
Yeah.
leaning into it practical effects. Whereas in number 2, they have more digital and it takes away from it.
Right? So
All right,
let's jump
get-
into number 2. But also, if you look at the VHS, it's a really cool box as well. It does the same thing, a holographic cover.
Cooler box than the actual fucking movie that's inside of it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say
right?
that right there.
All right, so let's read a synopsis here of Jack Frost 2: Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Ready for it? The mutant killer snowman returns to kill more people during Christmas. That's it. That's a synopsis on IMDb.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, folks. They Jaws 3'd it and they go to the fucking Caribbean.
Yeah. So
Jack Frost, the snowman,
right,
goes to the Caribbean.
which also ties into our attire. Let's
Christmas in July.
It's like, yep. So Jack Frost 2 takes place in the Caribbean. So the good things about Jack Frost 2. So this was made a couple years after this one. Oh, hang on, Bloody Mary kicked in. A lot of vodka here. It's the same director and it's the same core cast. I think it's 4 of the same cast members, 4 of your main cast members.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. And I think that's about it. So what did you think of Jack Frost 2: Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman?
Oh my god, I hated it so much. First of all, okay, how does he get reanimated? You say, well, first they have to dig him up from the unmarked grave,
Mm-hmm.
and then a janitor, while cleaning in the genetic lab, knocks over a cold cup of hot cocoa and mixes with the antifreeze, and surprise, Jack's back.
And then just right off the bat, I don't know if the first Jack Frost was shot on film, but Jack Frost 2 definitely looks like it's not. It is like another, like this is shot digitally for sure, and it's like one of those. This is still the early 2000s, late 90s, where digital is new and people are trying it out, and some of it just doesn't look good. And this is one of those.
This is one of those.
Yeah,
it all looks bad.
Yep.
And poor Sam has PTSD so bad
from the Mutant Killer Snowman.
Well, I mean, first there was a human serial killer that he put away after him.
Oh, yeah,
then he turns into
yeah.
a mutant killer snowman.
And now nobody believes him.
Then he goes off and kills half of his town.
Yeah.
No one is... Okay, it opens with... First of all, this opening scene sucks so hard. The first one was fun.
Yeah.
This one was Sam in therapy, and his therapist letting everyone listen in and make fun of him.
It's hilarious. No, I agree. What
the fuck?
Like, that opening was Fright Night 2. Fright Night 2 had that opening where he was in his therapist's office. He was talking about the events, and the therapist was like, "No, it's all in your head.
It's a delusion."
Yeah. So the first film is like it's definitely pays tribute to and influences from Evil Dead and The Thing, and I feel like the second one, there's like that opening from Fright Night 2, and the rest of it, the only thing I could get from it is Gremlins towards the end.
Oh, fucking Gremlins for sure.
Yeah. 2, like, so it had Bikini Babes, so that's like a bonus of being in the Caribbean. It had Bikini Babes. You got to see some boobs swimming around. That was fun. And I think like most of the kills had digital elements.
They were all digital, I think, really mostly, and they were like, do practical. Just because you can do digital sometimes doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, and there were just things that, and this is another thing too, is probably new and exciting technology. Like they were probably like, oh, we can actually do these digital effects with no money.
But you watch it and you look at it and you're like, oh, let's go back to the other because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of movies fall to this in the early 2000s era for sure, where they're experimenting with digital and none of them like required it. It was stuff like an anvil falling on someone's head. An ice
anvil on the beach, mind you. Yeah. These two girls like, yeah, we're gonna meet these boys, and it's gonna be great. And then an ice anvil falls on her head.
So really, the extended plot is the core group from the first one. They decide to spend Christmas in the Caribbean to get away from shit, and Marla's gonna get married.
Fuck Marla.
So it's like a honeymoon. It's like a wedding and then a second honeymoon, and then Jack is there. He swims there because he's water. So he does. And then like he starts killing people. Nobody believes the guy that he's there. Eventually all is revealed. And then the snowman turns into a whole bunch of little tiny snowball gremlins that are his kids.
Yeah.
And then, then how is he defeated in the end? What kills him?
Okay. First, you're going to be like, how did Jack know that Sam was in the Caribbean?
Well,
How did he know?
the connection they have.
Yeah. Would you like to know about the connection? I'll tell you the connection. While Sam was wrestling him in antifreeze.
In the first one?
In the first one, he was impaled and bleeding into said antifreeze.
Yes.
So therefore,
His DNA.
his DNA is now linked with Jack's.
So they are connected. They are linked together.
They are linked. Come to find out, Sam is allergic to bananas. And coincidentally, they are in an island on the Caribbean where there is lots of bananas. And so they defeat him and all of his little spawn snowballs
Yeah.
with fucking bananas. And actually, Sam defeats him by shooting a banana peel
Bow and arrow at him.
with a dollar store bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And then he melts. I'm melting.
Yeah, yeah.
And becomes foam.
And then at the very end, like when your credits roll, it shows they do a Godzilla thing where it shows an Asian ship with an Asian captain and his cohort, and they're doing the Godzilla thing where they were going, and the mouthed
dubs,
over
It
thing,
does the whole.
and they're like, "Ooh, Godzilla" kind of thing. And then it was just then you see a giant carrot like hit a toy boat in the water. Which is really funny. So I read up some trivia about. I'm like, why didn't they make a Jack Frost 3? Well,
Because Jack Frost 2 was shit. That's why.
It was. So here's a quote from an interview with the director, like I don't know, 7 years ago. So regarding Jack Frost 3, he said, I started writing it and there's about 20 pages somewhere. It was going to be a giant Jack Frost. At the end of part 2, there's a screaming Jackzilla, Jackzilla, and this giant carrot drops into the boat, which I just said. The next one starts off 10 years later, and their kid is all grown up. And it was going to be set in the city, and Jackzilla, this giant snowman, attacks a skyscraper, enveloping it and killing people by coming in through the vents and all that. And then he's still interested in making a third film, and he said, quote, Digital effects have come down in price by now, and I think we could do it. If someone wants to make it, I would adore the opportunity. It holds such a special place in my heart. You don't need digital effects to do that movie. You put someone in a suit and you make miniatures and you just stomp around.
Please don't make it.
No, I want to see
Also, that's a total Jaws thing, because in Jaws, they go down to the Bahamas. Jaws tracks the dude's kids and tries to eat them.
Oh, is it?
So dumb.
Yeah, we need to do the the Jaw series. On a side note,
things that really pissed me off about Jack Frost 2.
Jack Frost 2 sucks. It's really bad.
It is really bad.
It's like I feel like he had good intentions of like going from 1 to 2. He still embraced the low budgetness, but it just sucked. It didn't play.
It was horrible.
Nothing played well.
But oh my god, I was so fired up watching this movie.
Yeah, I know you were. I would look over and you'd just be like, what the fuck? Just your face the whole time. You're like leaning forward, like you were just, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Marla. The endearing secretary from number 1.
She was super annoying, and her and everyone else just didn't believe Sam.
They're like, Sam, just get over it. And then at one point she's like, Sam, can we really say that's Jack? Bitch, what other killer mutant fucking snowman out there do you know that's after Sam? Come on,
and,
shut the fuck up. And then, it's snowing.
Yeah, then it snows in the Caribbean, and they're still like, whatever, it's snow.
It's snow.
Yeah.
And then she just kept like, oh my God, Sam. Like, Sam has PTSD, guys, and he didn't have a good therapist to help him out, and I doubt he's on medication, so fuck you.
Yeah, and then when he showed up, and then he knew, he kept a vial of antifreeze.
A concentrated antifreeze.
As a necklace.
And then he was like, and it didn't work, and then he went like, it's not working.
And then he snapped.
Oh, he snapped.
Yeah.
Of course he snapped.
Yeah.
This thing has been hunting him.
Yeah.
Of course he snapped.
Yeah.
And his wife and all of his friends are like, you're just... Get over it. Oh my God. It's not him. It's not going to happen again, Sam. Jeez.
I know. I was really hoping that Marla would die, but she didn't.
She did not. I was also hoping that Marla would shut the fuck up.
They killed a lot of way cooler characters. Like, I think both of our favorite character was
Colonel Mustard.
Colonel Mustard, who was just a proper English
He was an English gent that did a lot of work he was in the service in India.
Yeah.
And he was always like, he goes,
so you know that look where they have that the brown hat and they're in the brown attire with the hiked up socks.
Yes.
That's a look, and that's what that is.
He was amazing.
He was.
I loved him, and he'd be like, ooh, a damsel.
Ooh, what's that, a damsel I hear? Yeah, he was really.
And then he'd be like,
really
Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby. He was great. Who else was not great? Motherfucking Captain Fun.
Oh,
First of all, there was the activities director at this island, fucking Captain Fun. First of all, I don't really like super energetic, oh my god,
yeah,
people.
You hate
Shut the fuck up.
energetic personalities, and they are pretty annoying.
Get
They're
out.
like, come on, guys, let's go. Here we go.
Turn that frown upside down. Fuck you.
It's that person.
He broke into their room and jumped on their bed in the morning and was like, wake up, it's time to do activities. First, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
There were a lot of
Every time
annoying
you turn
characters.
around, he was just, I was so glad he died because
Yeah.
he was getting on my motherfucking nerves.
Yeah, at least he died. That was cool. I can't remember how he died, though. Oh.
One of the snowballs, and he was like, ooh, you're so cute.
Oh.
Hi. And he was all
yeah.
being sweet and cute, and the snowball killed him. Agent Manners came back, but they soap operaed him.
Yep.
And 15 plastic surgeries later in an eye patch, he's the new Agent Manners.
Yeah, they have a new actor playing him, which is really funny that they soap operaed him because this actor is a
Young
soap
and the
opera
Restless
actor.
Along with the guy that played Captain Fun. Pretty sure they were on the show at the same time. They should have stayed on Young and the Restless. He was useless, pretty much. He went out with his super soaker with a laser pointer and got murdered.
Yeah. The whole movie just it fails for what it tries to do. I think they had the intention of like appealing to the actual fans of Jack Frost, but nah, it's not.
You barely see Jack Frost.
Yeah, that was
First of all-
was like one of my major things too. Is you don't see him, and this works with some films. It really does. But
No,
it's a mutant killer snowman. We want to see him.
You see more of a white oven mitt
Yeah, we don't see
than anything else.
we don't see him until like over halfway through the film.
Right. They spent their budget on this fucking snowballs.
And then his character or his design was shitty.
It was.
It wasn't nearly as cool as the first one. I don't know.
Why didn't you keep the suit from the first one?
Where'd the suit go, guys? Did
'Cause
they?
That was more like oven mitty and more like total dude in a foam snow.
Definitely, yeah. So the suit is just. I bet you they spent more money on it, but it looks way worse. Yeah, it's just my guess.
It was shit.
Yeah.
I was mad most of that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
we were
what the
just
fuck?
it was torturous getting through it.
It was torturous getting through it.
Which made me sad because the first one is pretty fun.
Right. The first one was fun and silly and they leaned into it. And this one, they were like, we can do digital effects. You're cheaper. And like, it just sucked. And it just sucked.
It did.
I was sad
Yeah.
too. Like disappointed. I was kind of hoping for another fun, campy snowman horror movie.
Yeah.
And then he goes and gets killed by a fucking banana peel.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen him, just watch the first one.
Yeah, don't waste your time with Jack Frost 2. You don't need to see it.
Yeah.
It's
So that's
unnecessary.
Those were our holiday films this year.
What would you rate it?
What would I? A 2 out of 10. You know, I give it a point because I feel like they tried a little bit, but it's
One.
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 I knew that was going.
One. Why? Colonel Mustard.
Yeah. Well, you know, both of those scores aren't good scores.
They are not. You're correct. They aren't.
It's a shitty movie.
It is a shitty movie.
Yeah.
But it was still fun watching them with you.
It was fun watching him with you as well. What would if you were they were gonna make a Jack Frost 3 and it wasn't this Godzilla thing, what would you want to see? Like the director comes back. Maybe I think the main actor is still around. I think I would just bring it back to the roots of.
Yeah, bring it back to the town.
Yeah.
You can still go after the kid.
Yeah.
He's older. He's now moved past his psycho special phase. And he's sheriff.
You know what I would do? I would make a Jack Frost or remake it or make Jack Frost 3 and then have the snowman return and kind of get like the same suit you had and have killing a whole bunch of town people. But then it turns out that actually his son is inside of that suit killing people.
Oh, yes.
Because it would trick you as an audience member as well, because you know it looks low budget, but it could also just be a guy in a suit.
You're right.
Yeah.
And because it traumatized him, but
Yeah.
maybe it didn't traumatize him because he was a psycho already.
Right?
And he was putting antifreeze in food.
So you could put a new twist on it, and I don't
Ooh,
know
I like that
know
idea.
how you introduce the actual Jack Frost killer, but it could be like a
Do you have to? It's just under the guise
it could,
of Jack
it could be a
Frost.
Friday the 13th part 5 kind of thing.
Right. Thought it was Jason.
Yeah.
Turns out not Jason.
Uh-huh.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That would be
That's the
fun.
first idea I had, but I would like to see them bring it back somehow.
Yeah, but they'd have to lean into it.
Yeah, they would.
And I'd prefer actual practical effects over. I know we can do cool digital things now,
Yeah.
but like
And I really don't want to see Godzilla Jack Frost.
I don't.
that
I
doesn't
don't
sound
ever
fun.
want to see that.
Yeah.
Keep that special place in your heart for those 20 pages.
And that
in your heart.
storyline, just remake it or retool it, do something else. Yeah.
Just keep it to yourself.
So first one's a lot of fun. Second one missed the mark. Is
Yes.
really kind of what it comes down to. So what other holiday horror films do you like? We'll just get off of Jack Frost for a minute. Like last year we did the Black Christmases.
The first Black Christmas was
First
awesome.
Black Christmas is awesome, and I know I haven't seen them, and I don't know if they're good. I have seen them. It's been a long time. The Silent Night, Deadly Night films we still need to watch.
I've never seen them.
I have all of them. I don't remember much of. I remember part 1, and I don't really remember much of the rest of them. There's a new one out with a dude from Stranger Things, Hopper, where he's the Santa going around killing everyone.
Right.
It's like my brother said it was good.
Huh. We'll have to check that out.
So it might suck because he like saw 5 and a lot of really bad things.
That's true.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, Jason Goes to Hell is my favorite, so I can't like say anything.
And Final Destination 3 is my favorite, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I've seen a few lists, and it did make the top of a couple lists that I've seen from, reputable outlets.
Great.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, just saying.
All right. It was shit. That's fine.
No,
Moving
it
on.
was not. Anyways, well, Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, season's greetings. Thank you for checking in with us this year and checking in, hanging out with us, listening to us.
And soon we'll have our best and worst horror films of 2022 should be coming up pretty soon here, which I'm really excited to shoot that
too.
episode. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people to listen to.
I have a lot of things to talk about the things that we didn't like.
I have a lot of things on both.
But on both
I think
ends.
there's like super high highs and super low lows this year.
I agree. Yeah.
Like
We've watched some
across the
like,
board.
what the
Yeah.
son of a bitch is this?
Well, anyways,
All right. Well,
That's
our
it.
Bloody Marys are dead.
Merry Christmas.
So are we. Merry Christmas.
Oh,
What do we usually say? I don't know.
I had a cool joke, but I'll just explain it. So I was going to do something like, it's Christmas, so we have eggnog Bloody Marys. And then I'd be like, oh, I bet that's what Mrs. Claus periods taste like.
Oh,
Catch you next time.
no. God.